Yeah, now it's okay. And one moment, I need to take another paper to. Yeah. Hmm. Uh, yes. The three, what is not working and should be improved in terms of equality and human rights within your faith community, or, for example, in relation to other communities.
Exactly. So for me, one major issue is the stigma around the topic LGBTIQ identity.
Mhm.
That's have already a lot of stigma. Then in many places, the discussion are shut down or outright condemned when you
Mhm.
open it. This like limits open of dialogue and reinforce prejudice, unfortunately, because that's when you don't have discussion and dialogue, people doesn't know, and the only thing have this prejudice. There is a lack of safe space for people like me to discuss our experience or even to learn how Islam core value align with accepting and diversity. Many people inside the LGBTIQ with Muslim background, they live in their mind that they are sinner, they are doing wrong, they are bad, they are horrible, and they cannot be Muslim. And the only kind of thing they will say it comes from those bad example of rejection. So when they talk about Islam, they don't talk about Islam as core value or what is in the text because they don't know it. It's only they know how people treat them. And because they will be living in what called Muslim country, no one of them is Muslim country, but just so they start to talk about Islam from that perspective. And this is for me, it's the prejudice. This is not Islam. And for me, when we don't have those space to discuss, people stay like that. That's unfortunately the thing. Another area needing improvement is the women roles as leadership. This is for me the thing that I want to emphasize. Not that on term of like uh, be a respected. This is something it should not be even discussion. If people they don't respect the woman and treat her, it's a problem of machismo and gender. It's not a problem of the Islam, but the leadership it's different. The leadership, yes, it's something for me and how because I don't use the term gender equality because this is for me that it's not okay. But I don't tell that we need to improve gender equality in Islam. No, we need to improve and empower and working on the leadership of women in Islam in religious position. Because to be like to be a woman imam or to be a woman as an and like one who study the Islam study and do the interpretation, those are the like still and need improvement. But the question of respect is not any something that needs because it's already wrong and it's not in Islam. It's just machismo and it's just it's like there's something else. There can be resistance to women. That's true. That's something I admit that they have resistance to women full participation in leadership role within the community. That is something, yeah, I know that exists and I see it. One of the pressing issue is the lack of open discussion around the LGBT Muslim. Many Muslim communities are reluctant to engage with this topic. They kind of afraid sometimes that like like it's here, but let's not talk about it. That's also something they kind of don't want to open this or have the discussion, often because of the stigma or fear of the backlash.
Yeah.
That's what's the reason. Sometimes people are not homophobic, really, but they're so afraid from what will happen and the consequence if I show that I am supportive or if I show that I am not even person who is a gay or belong to sexual and gender minority, but just to be an alien. That also can create fear. This create isolation also. This is create isolation when you are not allowed and you don't have a space to speak. You feel like alone and you are the only one. Like for me, create the isolation for LGBTIQ Muslim who are trying to reconcile their faith and identity. To foster a more inclusion approach, religious leaders and community influencers need to emphasize the core of Islamic value of empathy and understanding. Those two key for me. As stated in the Quran in the Surah 16, verse 90. Indeed, Allah commend justice, good conduct, and giving to relatives, and forbid immorality, bad conduct, and oppression. So, in this surah, it's clear that God asks us to be people that emphasize the justice and the good conduct, and to be good with the people who are around us. Then for this is now they will tell, he see the first part, but he didn't read the second part. No, I read it. It's saying here immorality, bad conduct, and oppression. Here what we will need to discuss. I don't see myself as immoral, and I don't see myself as a bad conduct with my behavior. Yeah. And this is the discussion. We need to to be open. But because when I use this verse, people are like, you take the first part because it's good for you. But what about the rest? Yeah, because I don't see myself as a Lot. We come but again to Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah. I am not Sodom and Gomorrah. Be a person. I didn't rape anybody. I didn't force anyone to have sex with me. And I don't do anything. So how I see myself as a bad conduct, or I see myself as a immoral. No, I have more immoral things than you. So conservatives will say you are immoral. Yeah. I don't see that. You see me, or you project that on me. That's your problem. It's not mine. So another area for improvement is the role of the woman in religious settings. That is something that while Islam recognizes women's right to education, work, and inheritance, culture practice often limit the right. For the example, when it comes to be imam woman, that's something. We know it, and we acknowledge that, or I know this. For example, the Quran state, and for women is a share. This is about the heritage now. The surah about the heritage. Yeah. It's clear. This one you cannot misunderstand it. It's like, and for the woman is a share of what their parents and close relatives leave. Be it little or much. An obligatory share. This is the Quran 4:7. So literally here, God saying for the woman a share from what her parents leave or the relative. And this share, small or big, it's her part. Because here, what the text say, and then when we go to see the practice, however, the practice in heritage and financial independency for women are often limited. I give the example of Egypt because I was spending so much in Egypt time, but doesn't mean only Egypt have this practice. Many other, even in Tunisia, some region they do that. When parents leave land, the land of the heritage, when you have agriculture land, if you have a brother and sister, usually the brother doesn't want to give the land for the sister after, and her part of that land. They can compensate her on sometimes some money, or they can tell her take this part of the house or whatever stuff, but not the land, because for them the land is the power. And also, as she's married with someone else from another family, they feel when they give little by little from the land to every sister, this land will go to other people, and that is a practice, not God saying. It's a cultural, social practice. But God here clearly say that they get the share as much or big or small, but they need to take it. But the people, they don't give it. Unfortunately, we have this, but this is not in Islam. This is the people of mind, So, one issue is the lack of the safe space for LGBTIQ Muslim. The Sunnah community often follow traditional scholars who interpret same-sex relationships strictly without consider the modern LGBT identity. So their understanding is again about the old interpretation. Many mosques and Islamic center lack resource or education on LGBT issue. We speak about now here in Europe, in Western country, how many Islamic center or how many kind of space of Muslim community when you have people who can just discuss it openly in rational way, not in very like try to block you. Like we talk LGBT people around us. You live here in Finland, okay? As a Muslim community, those people around us.
Yeah.
We don't talk about gay Muslim. No, other gay. You are have colleague tomorrow or like a neighbor. Why you don't discuss? If they discuss, they will discuss from the point of view of this old or not old, like this tradition or like this only interpretation they have it, but they cannot open it more than that.
Do you say that even in Europe, even in Finland, they lack of
open discussion and dialogue?
Yeah.
And this is for me that is really like a core thing because it's like part of the education or part of the dialogue, and it needs to be on the table. We don't talk about here now gay Muslim, about the gayness in the society. It's two different things. And still, not even that.
Yeah.
So, and so for me, this kind of space to create those space of discussion and of like knowledge also. Moreover, silence about LGBT issue create fear and self-censorship. Because it's a lot of silence, okay? So persons start to censorship themselves. This can lead to mental health issue, as many LGBT Muslims feel they have to choose also between their identity and their faith. And like, I am here or here. And mostly it happened like that. This is why you see so many, for example, I call newcomer, like those people who are like asylum seeker or refugee who come from Muslim background. And then when you ask them sometimes, very innocent, like question, not like you are trying to find out something. Like, so are you Muslim? No. Like direct, like this kind of rejection. I'm not Muslim. Okay. So what's me? Because for them, if you ask this question, they kind of get afraid first from you as a white, as you're trying to project something on them or not. This is number one, because they think how they see Finnish society think or white people think about Muslim, that you are terrorist, you are blah blah. So like the person, oh, I'm not like that. So like rejected, but also come from their trauma and the bad experience that happened in their own country. So the first thing is like reject this. I need to choose, and then sometimes even if I have acceptance and I don't have a bad experience with my family, but if the society starts to look at me as a weird person, so I'm like, okay, I give up on this. They accept me as a gay man. It's cool, but the Muslim no. So I prefer to be with this. It's horrible choice, but some people, many they do it to at least navigate and live in the society without this cliche. That's the thing. So for me, the silence about these, what else I say, like the silence around LGBT issue create fear and self-censor, and then the depression, anxiety, isolation are common. It's so much. I see it more and more, especially when I be working now for a long time with the people who are what called newcomer, the people who arrive after 2015 and they're from the community, LGBTIQ from Muslim background. You could tell me, Hassan, this is a common problem. People here even feel this loneliness. But when it comes from little bit the perspective and the point of view that we have the what being think that you are in this individualist society, that you are in society that you like to be by yourself, do things by yourself, but you enjoy when you decide to be with other. And when you come from other type of life, we will be in collective society. Most of them, they're in collective society. So their life all about people around you. And you feel much better when more people around you. And then you found they're like, nobody or like few. Then it's like double punishment. And then like you're like, but you are safe here. You have everything. You have the house. You have the education. But still you are not happy and you depressed and more depression because this isolation. It's so hard. And they are mostly born in collective life. So they feel like they are punished. So even we are running for the safety, but actually this safety that we have, it doesn't feed the need of be with people and feel loved and be like community. So that's a very hard problem. Yeah. So for me, this depression, the anxiety, the isolation are common. The lack of community support, and are like hesitant to seek mental health service also due to the fear of being judged. Can I will discuss many times this topic in one-to-one individual meeting with my client, and I ask like, so you try to talk with the psychologist, we try to speak about this with the what the name the nurse, the psychologist nurse, and like, come on, you think she will understand? If I tell her like I'm a Muslim and I want this and that, she will be like, and then they will think I am crazy, or they will think that I am some extremist, and people have a reason why they think like that. Of course, when you see what come to the media, how they speak in the media about Islam, what kind of news come, what are the people, again, what I start with, this kind of representation, that affect us, to us even help. It's like all together. Yeah. So then I give example. The work of the Imam Da'i Abdullah. This Imam, he's from United States. He's an openly gay Imam based in United States, in Washington, if I remember, has been significant in creating space for LGBT. He do like this kind of safe space create, and like make people like feel welcome, like just come and discuss, like nothing, just open space to talk. His inclusive approach to Islamic teaching is a rare example of leadership that LGBTIQ Muslim can turn to. However, such a figure are few and often marginalized within the border Sunnah circle, because there are few of them, but there are not so much space except in the area that people know them. But for me, he's a good example. And if you have the time, you want to read, you will find a lot about him. Da'i Abdullah, and all the names that I give it, I can send it by email, so you have them correctly written. So if you want to see it, and when you have the text back to me, I also will check that kind of thing. Yeah. So this is my answer for the third question.
Yeah, thanks. Now I will stop.
Yes, then you open.